Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Monday, March 2nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect sunny skies with a high of 80. In hour two of today's show, we'll talk about some targets for the New Orleans Saints as we look back on the NFL Combine, maybe some LSU football as well. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number two of Off the Bench, live from the Raising Cane's studios, starts now.
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Okay, here we go.
Where the plays get broken down and science gets denied.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Hour two of Off the Bench, live from the Raising Cane studio.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number two of OTB. Welcome back in. Raising Cane Studio.
Yeah, you see.
Jake Flynn, Moose, and Tay here with you see.
Yeah.
You dirty rat. I don't know why we just go 1920s there.
Always. That's my go-to. It's all,
Yeah,
it's
me
all I
too.
got, really.
Yeah.
It's all I got.
Yeah.
When it comes to the old accents.
Is that an, I don't really know if it's an accent, but.
I did roll my tongue the other day when I said arroyo.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. It's a dried up river, obviously. We don't have here on Off the Bench. River's all wet.
It's also fair. Mm-hmm. It is also fair. Before we get into a New Orleans Saints discussion about what they could do
Taylor's judging me over there.
in the NFL draft, I want to tell you about our friends over at Gulf Coast Office Products, GCOPnet.com. Well, speaking of the Saints, they are the official provider there for the Saints and for the Tigers and for the Pelicans and for the Raging Cajun. They are trusted with teams like that, organizations like that, right? Because those teams, those organizations, like they need what they need, those documents then. They don't need them later. They don't need them tomorrow. They need them right now. And even if they did run into an issue, well, you make one call. And the one call you make is the person that you're actually going to be talking to that's going to help you. They're not going to transfer you 7 times. You're not going to be talking to somebody that's not here. It's somebody that's boots on the ground here. And that's really what sets them apart, right? So you get all the luxury of having like this huge, massive company that can get anything done, any piece of equipment, but then you get that local service, that customer service that we always appreciate with GCOP. So go to the website today. And again, this isn't just, teams. It's not just NFL, NBA, and college football. No, we're talking about if you have an engineering firm, a law firm, a university, a bank, anybody that deals in documents, you know how important it is, and that's why you always go to Gulf Coast Office Products. Again, GCOPnet.com. All right, so as I'm there in Indy, obviously I'm trying to put my ear to the ground to see what the New Orleans Saints are going to do. Now, I saw a lot of teams. I never really saw a lot of Saints personnel. Like, obviously they're there, but I was hoping to run into Mickey Loomis. I was hoping to see if we could get him on the show. I know Kellen Moore was kind of doing a lot of different things. He was doing like a Surface ad a couple of different times. I saw him like the actual Microsoft.
I saw the actual one with him and Chuck.
Yeah.
They did like a whole commercial.
Yeah. So he was busy.
Okay.
I should have seen if Tolzien was there. He might not have been there. Either way. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, what are the New Orleans Saints going to do? And I think a lot of people, depending on how it falls, you never know. Somebody you love might fall to you that you weren't expecting. But a lot of people are expecting it to be an offensive player and an offensive skill player and a receiver. You start to look at this receiver class. All right. Jordan Tyson, who was there but didn't do anything except bench press because he's still nursing a hamstring that he got at Arizona State. Okay. Jordan Tyson, great player, has had some injury history. It worries you a little bit. Red flags whenever you have a hamstring.
Soft tissue.
With a receiver, no doubt about it. So he's still dealing with that. Okay. We got to put that in our memory bank. Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate ran a 4.5, certainly not the time that all the other receivers were putting out there. The receivers were a very impressive group. I'm not saying 4.5 slow. It's not. But it's not elite either. He's 6'3", 195 pounds, so he's in that frame that you're looking for. But Carnell Tate, and again, this is a good football player. But Carnell Tate's never been Batman. He's only ever been Robin. Marvin Harrison Jr. was the number one receiver 2 years ago. Jeremiah Smith was the number one receiver this year. Cardinal Tate's always been the second receiver. Now, he can go have a very productive career. He can make a lot of plays. But are you going to take a guy that's only ever been number 2 in the top 10? You have to ask yourself that question. Because if you take somebody in the top 10, they got to be 1. Right? Even if you have Chris Olave, if you take somebody in the top 10, they got to be Tedero McMillan, who just won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Right? You can't be Robin and be a top 10 pick. Is it in there? Maybe it is, but we don't know. He's always been a secondary piece to somebody that was, Marvin Harrison Jr., a top 10 pick. Jeremiah Smith going to be a top 10 pick. All right, then we get to Denzel Boston. Didn't have the best combine. All right, you go to Mekhi Lemon. Didn't do a whole lot at the combine. He's also 5'10" and some change, 190 pounds. You're looking for something, I think, a little bit different. Looking for a different body type. All right, I love Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana. Love everything about that guy's game. Okay, but he's not a top 10 pick. We know that. He's a top 40 pick. Maybe you get him at 42. Maybe. But I bring that up because is there really a receiver that you can trust right now at 8? I don't know that there is. It's not to say there's not talented enough receivers, but with the top guy on a lot of people's board, an injury guy, a guy that's missed games, a guy that missed the combine because of injury, and the other guy being a guy that's always been a 2, never been a 1, are you ready to take that guy in the top 10? And I got to be honest, I don't know that I would feel comfortable right now. And as much as I want the Saints to add a playmaker, I don't know that it can come from the receiver position.
Top 10 is so tricky because that's how everybody always feels. Like if you're a top 10 pick, you got to go in and be Superman. You got to go in and make a immediate impact, which isn't always the case. I guess counter argument to that would be like, you don't have to make a pick that always has to make that immediate impact. It can be somebody that you have that's going to make a bigger impact over the next 4 or 5 years and not necessarily immediate. I guess the other thing would be is Olave is your number 1. So you're not looking for your absolute number 1 and the number 2 receivers so far below. Like this could be like a 1A, 1B situation. But I asked Nick Underhill last week about this. Like to me, the positions of need, nobody is sticking out. Like, okay, look, it's the Saints. There's a lot of positions of need. I get it. But for what everybody is thinking is the obvious pick, help your new franchise quarterback out, give him weapons. Like this draft to me screams trade back.
Yeah.
For me. Now, because a lot of those names you mentioned, you'd feel let's say a completely different conversation if you're picking them at 18, 19 or 25, 26.
Completely different.
Completely. You're like, yeah, take that guy for sure.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer at that position.
Yeah.
Which there's so many receivers being talked about in this first round. Like they're going to be, some of those guys are going to be available. And they're going to be available into the second round. So there's so many positions of need. Like this draft screams trade back. But that is not Mickey Loomis's playbook.
No.
I think everybody would like to do that. If you are going to take, you brought up the linebacker from Ohio State at the end of hour 1. Like if you're going to do something like that, that's truly a best player available type situation. That's the same could be said for Jeremiah Love as well. Best type of player available. It's not a pick that you were a team like the Saints that has all these different needs. Those 2 positions aren't necessarily the sexy picks or the picks that you want for where the Saints are right now. But they're probably going to be people that are going to be very productive for multiple years. But you would like to either get more assets or hit an asset that is going to make an immediate impact. And to your point, like nobody is just jumping off the board to you.
Right.
You're like, yep, that's an obvious choice. He'll definitely be there, at pick 8, and it's an obvious choice for what our need is. So if you're not going to take best player available, don't reach and take a second-round wide receiver in a top 10 pick. Trade that asset because you could probably get him in the 20s.
And so if that's the case, right, if you don't trade back, because that hadn't been their MO, to your point. Now, if you do, I love what you just laid out there. But if you
can
don't,
get a first and you can get another second or you can get another third or something like that.
and you need it.
And
Like,
in position
your
A,
roster
there's
needs
going
it.
to be like we talked about defensive end. You want a rusher. It's so deep. There's going to be rushers available in the 3rd and 4th round.
Yeah.
So trade
this class is deep with 3 E's in the middle at edge rusher.
Trade your first rounder, get an extra 3rd this year and a 5th next year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I love that plan. I do. That's how if I was the general manager or if I was the assistant, you were the GM, that's what we do. Mm-hmm. It's not what Mickey Loomis is probably going to do.
Mickey Loomis probably like sees that. What's the linebacker's name? Ohio State.
Sonny Styles.
Sonny Styles. His performance at the combine just made your 8th pick more valuable trade.
Oh, no doubt. If Washington doesn't select him at 7, and if he makes it there now, but if they don't, and you sit there and you're kind of a team that we don't know exactly where you're leaning, oh my gosh, you hold the power of the world in your hands during that moment, during that part of the day. Teams are like, oh my God, we need Sonny Styles.
You don't think he'd look good enough?
Or it could be Arvell Reese. I'm not as high on Arvell Reese.
You don't think Mike Vrabel would like to see him in a Patriots uniform?
Right. And they'll give up
from
They'll give up a lot.
They'll give up a lot.
Because that guy's going to be so again,
because Patriots are young on offense.
Right.
Young at the most expensive position.
Yeah.
So
And I worked with Pat Kerwin again. Pat's been in the game, decades in the NFL in the front office. And he said there might only be 2 gold jacket guys in this draft. And he said, I think Sonny Styles is one of them. Mm-hmm. Right. So like you could get potentially that. So if you don't feel like he meets what you're looking for, there's a lot of teams that would be willing to move up. So again, like that's a play that we would like to see. It's not probably going to happen. It's just not the way that they go about the NFL draft. So if they stay at 8, they're still looking for a playmaker. Could Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon, the tight end, maybe fit what they're looking for because he's an F. He's not a Y tight end, right? We talk about that all the time. A Y tight end is a yackle of sorts. He is going to be an extension of the offensive line. He's got 3 fingers, and they're in the ground, and he's attached to that tackle. The F is think more Travis Kelce. Think Antonio Gates. You call it H?
Don't get confused, everybody.
You call it an H? What'd you call the other tight end?
U.
I've never heard that. You're wrong. So
F is a fullback.
Yeah, but if the fullback's not F, it's 12 personnel, the F stays the F, and it becomes the second tight end.
Silly.
And if he's not the F, he's the H in a lot of offenses. I don't know why.
That's for those people that have those offenses with all them dumb guys on it.
Sure, bud. Okay, the second tight end, because Matthew thinks only the Green Bay Packers came up with offensive football.
Sorry,
so the second tight end.
West Coast offense? Ever heard of it?
God.
All right, keep going. Sorry, my bad.
What would you like to label this tight end, bud?
Tight end.
Yeah, but not the Y, the other one.
Just tight end.
Yeah, it's different, though. Every team has one guy that is going to okay, you don't mute his microphone. When you play with a tight end that's got a gold jacket named Antonio Gates that isn't the best inline blocker, he can do some of it. He's willing, but he's not the best. We call that guy an F. And that is what I think Sadiq is probably going to play at the next level. Okay? So if you're the New Orleans Saints and you know that information, Foster Moreau is going to be a free agent. Taysom Hill, who knows? All right, so you got Juwan Johnson. I don't know that I'd love him as my Y tight end either. He's not the best blocker in the world. But if you do sign a true Y tight end, could he be the guy that is your playmaker that you're looking to add? You're going to ask him to do some tight end stuff. You're also going to ask him to do some slot receiver stuff. All right, so he measures in at 6'3", 241 pounds. 4.39 on the 40. 43.5-inch vertical jump. 11.1 on the broad jump, and 26 reps of 225 on the bench press. That might actually be the most important number. That tells me he's got some strength to him. That tells me he can handle maybe some stuff in the run game.
Some wide tendencies.
There you go. You're picking up.
Antonio Gates. Chargers. Position F.
Who's your tight ends in Green Bay?
A bunch.
The best one.
Well, early on, Jermichael Finley.
Okay. Is he good as Antonio Gates?
For a couple of years, he was better. Look it up.
You think that he was ever better than Antonio Gates?
For a couple of years.
To his mom and dad. That's it. And I guess you.
All right.
We're talking about somebody that's maybe the best ever at his position. You're an idiot. Anyways.
Best ever his position? It's reach.
Y'all, can y'all help me here?
He's F, though.
It's a Y and an F.
What question
What
do you want
dumb
answered?
offenses were you in that you didn't label the tight end?
So was he ever the only tight end on the field?
Yeah, then he became the Y. But a lot of times we ran 12 personnel, and the Y would be detached or it'd be attached. I didn't say he ever did it. It's like he only did one thing, but he was more of an F tight end. 12 personnel. There's a Y and there's an F, or there's a Y and there's a U. However you label it. You know what I'm talking about.
Got it.
Michael Finn, like that's egregious. That is an egregious statement that you just
It's a good
made.
reaction I got, though.
I don't even remember what I was talking about. Anyways, so the Saints could potentially see this guy, Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon, as maybe the playmaker at 8. Tate, I know that you mentioned Ross wrote an article on LouisianaSports.net about this because he's not lasting much longer than 8, I don't think. Not after what he did at the Combine.
No, I mean, he's going first round for sure. Like, Moose actually brought this up when he was hosting on AFR Friday, and then Ross included him as well. Like, an Eli Stowers a couple rounds later was a guy that people love. But, look, if you're in love with a Kenyon Sadiq, we see a lot of people do this recently. Like, I mean, I understand he wasn't the flashiest guy in college like a Brock Bowers, but Brock Bowers did it and kind of set the league on fire as a rookie. He was really the only weapon the Raiders had. Like, you see tight ends getting drafted higher and higher because the position's changed.
Matthew, would you take a tight end?
Nope.
Nope.
At 8?
Too high?
No. I'm taking a tight end at 8.
We've seen this happen before. Now, Brock Bowers went a little bit later. Cal Pitts did go before Jamar Chase.
Yeah, the Raiders lost like every game, too.
that's
The
also
Lions actually did that, if y'all remember, with Eric Ebron a couple years ago with out of North Carolina. Now,
That's when the Lions were. That's when the Lions
Right.
Dan
Right.
Campbell.
Has there ever been a tight end taken top 10 that, like, everybody agrees that was a great move?
I mean, Vernon Davis was pretty damn good for a long time. To your point, though, was he? Gosh, he was really good. But was he top 10 good?
If you want to take, again, it's the same conversation. Trade back into the 20s.
Right.
Nobody's complaining
But the
about
fact that
it.
we can kind of remember the one that kind of worked out,
Right.
is your point. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, we failed to mention that the Saints do have a very valuable trade asset.
Oh wait, I thought I was told that it wasn't a good backup quarterback.
No.
Is that what you're talking about?
Another buddy.
Oh,
Derek Carr.
well, he's not. No,
host of the Homegrown Network, if anyone's wondering.
I thought you were talking about
Homegrown.
my guy Rat that.
Oh, we can talk about that's a whole segment.
Yeah.
But I did hear, and I'd like to ask Nick Underhill, there are rumors saying that the Saints have fielded approximately 0 calls of interest for Derek Carr.
That's less than one.
It's less than 1. Top 1, and it ain't 1.
Oh, that's true.
Not a single call.
Not a single call. Apparently, these are
If you're
reports.
the damn New York Jets, I mean, come on. What do you have to lose at this point?
But-
Apparently, the Jets are talking with the Cardinals for
Yeah.
Kyler Murray currently. That seems like a fit.
Sure.
And it also seems like the Vikings said that they're ready to move on from J.J. McCarthy. That's reports.
Already?
These are reports from the Twitter.
I mean, there's talk of Kirk Cousins potentially
Yeah.
ending up back in Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota. Some of the whispers in Indy were they liked Anthony Richardson too.
Oh,
Please.
What? So
Yeah.
what?
Please, Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell's pushing that. He's like, please go get Anthony Richardson.
And so last offseason, there was a lot of talk about Aaron Rodgers to Minnesota. But
Yeah.
Minnesota ended up saying, no, we're going to stick with J.J. McCarthy. So now that they don't want to stick, is that potential? I don't know. So fun.
So the news of Anthony Richardson asking for a trade, I think that broke on Wednesday.
Yeah. Big
So
news.
The Hamilton
Tuesday-
Tiger Cats were all over it.
Oh, yeah.
So Tuesday, they were actually they were at the combine. I saw them represented.
They
Oh,
were,
hey.
Yeah.
Oh, hey,
they
Jay.
were talking
hey,
to the Colts about a trade.
Oh, hey, Jake.
Yeah.
Great to meet you.
I said, hey, did you watch that hockey game, you bum?
Yeah, Mom.
So we had Shane Steichen on Tuesday. Colts head coach. Sorry if you don't know that. And we, of course, like we talked about Phillip Rivers for like the first 10 minutes because we were all together in San Diego. That's how I know Shane. And so how awesome that was, blah, 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 whatever. And so I was like, all right, well, Shane, tell me about your quarterback room currently. And he's like, all right, yeah. We want to sign Daniel Jones back. Like, we're actively trying everything we can. And he goes, and we got Anthony Richardson and Riley Leonard. And then it goes on. And I'm like, oh, he's not going to be
Oh,
there.
yeah. That's bad.
Oh, I hope other teams don't listen to this because they're going to know that you'll take a bag of peanuts right now for Anthony Richardson.
Sure.
'Cause
Well,
it was
just
like-
told everybody.
It was Daniel Jones, well, thousands, tens of thousands. It was Daniel Jones, wax poetic, fly by Anthony Richardson, and then talk really nice about Riley Leonard, what he did.
Leonard was
last
good at
game
the end of the year, yeah.
So you kind of like that felt like it was coming.
Yeah.
And look, Shane Steichen said when they drafted Anthony Richardson, we're married. I know it. My career is going to be his career. I get that. But it looks
got a
like
divorce.
that's gone out the window.
They're not married anymore.
They're not married. They got a divorce. The kid's got to choose.
Was never consummated.
So, all right, we got to take a break, but we got much more OTB coming back your way when we jump back here live from the Raising Cane studio.
Off the bench.
All right, go to getgordon.com, the website for Gordon McKernan injury attorneys. McKerney the attorney?
Nice. Some people are saying.
Go to Gordon. Check it out. GetGordon.com. You can see what they can do for you in the courtroom. You can see past client results. You can see cases they handle. All that information right there on the website. You can speak with a live agent right there on the homepage of the website. And always remember, if you want to have a conversation with them, no matter where you're listening to us throughout the great state of Louisiana, all you have to do is put your area code followed by the 8s, 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
Yeah, we don't ever want to like plan for bad things to happen. We don't want to plan for the worst. But like, if something does happen and you're in a car accident, get injured at work, whatever, like you don't really know what to do. You're like, all right, well, it's not my fault. Well, call somebody that does know what to do and can get exactly what you deserve. Call 888-8888 or go to getgordon.com.
You put a term to it.
It's like a star. Like, don't do
No,
that.
you put a term to it because it's a different player. Just like a tailback and a fullback are different. They do some similar things.
So,
Oh, my
12
God.
personnel is what? 2 tight ends?
It is.
That's
but
it. That's it. You answered it.
No, because not
2 tight ends.
those 2 tight ends don't have to be the same. If you got 2 Ys in there that are just road grader yackles
It's not 2 Ys. They play the tight ends.
in a playbook, does it say tight end or does it say Y and
when they're
U?
when they're in meetings and they get in position meetings, which room do they go into?
I go to the running back room, but I'm playing fullback. You dumb. Yes.
Bro, you are making stuff up because you are so entrenched
Whoa.
in media talk
What?
that you have to put a label on
What
every
room
position.
no, to your question, if they go into the tight end room, what room do I go into as a fullback? Is there a fullback room? Or did I go into the running back room?
because nobody has fullbacks.
Because it's an H and an F.
Because there's only 3 fullbacks in the NFL.
Not when I was playing.
They wouldn't
I'm talking
waste
about when we were
Square
playing.
footage in a building on a fullback room.
Yeah, we would. It's a broom closet. I went into the running back room, just like
It's
the
a padded
tight
room
ends
for the
and tight end
fullbacks.
room. This guy's got no respect for other positions.
I have a lot of respect. I love tight ends. They're the best. That's what they are. They're tight ends.
I can
Why do
see
you
you being
hate
the guy
labels
that'd
so
be like,
bad?
hey, what does this guy play on your team? You're like, I don't know. Don't care. I know what I play.
Yeah, he's off. F tight end.
But you know what I'm talking about. It's the crazy thing.
Is a good pass catching tight end? Is that what it is? The trade S type? Is he an F tight end?
Yes, very much so. He's an F. Yes.
He's a Z, bud. He's a Z or an X.
I mean, in my offense, yes, he would be.
That's going to be that'll be your term you'll come up with next. He's an X tight end.
No, we've been saying Y and F
Nobody.
long time.
Who, you and Antonio?
No, every offense I've been a part of.
Okay. I don't think so. Just tight end.
You want to call Jimbo right now?
Well, when you have two
you
tight
want to
ends,
call Jimbo and
when you have
ask him?
two tight ends in the game, you have to give them some sort of label to differentiate.
No
On a playbook,
what I'm saying.
You are judging these people and stereotyping them with a letter.
Because that's what they play. That's what they are.
That's why I asked you. When Antonio Gates in the game with one tight end, what position is he?
Then he becomes
A Y.
a Y because there's an F in the game.
God, guys, I can't. This is got hit in the head a lot.
I did, but I'm right.
Yeah, it's a star.
Okay,
Little
this is
Perkins. Did he work out with the Stars this weekend?
he didn't work
Last
out with
week?
anybody, which we'll get to. That. Not just him. We'll get to that.
Calling all stars to bench press. To bench press.
You know that is such a different conversation.
No, it's the same.
and you're digging your heels in. You know you know what I'm talking about? What okay. I can't even. If we call Jimbo right now and he's 12 personnel, he would tell you there's a Y and there's an F.
That's fine. He's not going to say, hey, that guy right there, that's an F tight end right there. No, he's an F tight end. Oh, yeah, he's a Y. What? It's a tight end. He catches passes better. Some of them block better.
And that's why
No need to separate the rooms.
you don't separate it. Everything's labeled for a reason.
Antonio Gates, did he go into the Hall of Fame as a Y or an F?
Well, he
I can't remember. Which one? What's on his bust?
Why'd he get there? Because he was an
What's
F.
on his bust? Can't remember. What letters?
Hadn't seen it yet, but he got there because he was an F tight end.
And not answering the question. Tiptoeing through the tulips.
No, I answered it.
This is good radio. Electric. Give the people what they want. Hey, welcome back. For real, we missed you.
Yo, this isn't the
Moose
first
is
time.
uncomfortable.
I'm fine. This is comical.
Oh no, this is
Flynn's been waiting for
He's
Jake to
been-
get back for this moment.
if there's one thing that I know my beloved co-host hates, it's labeling stuff in football. I know that. I'm with you at the star position. I also think that's dumb. But the thing that's bothering me is I know the offenses you've been in. Not all of them. You were in a lot of them. I know that. But I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're taking that little Nike Dunk shoe that you have and you are digging it into the ground to spite me.
These are Air Jordan 1s.
Oh, well, it looked like a Nike Dunk. I don't know. I'm wearing team-issued shoes. I don't really know shoes,
That's
okay?
pretty nice. I like those.
Okay? But you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Okay, so let's just end the conversation here. Final verdict. Is anybody okay with the Saints selecting a tight end
Yeah, there you go. You getting it.
at number 8?
Not if
no.
you're going to use him as a tight end. No. Like if you would just want to line him up a receiver, yeah. But no.
I'm not going to do that, though.
Even then, I think no. I mean, I wouldn't want. You have some pretty good receivers out there that have been well chronicled with Lemon and Tate. If they're still on the board there, I'd rather take one of those guys, especially a guy like Tate with the size and the catch radius that he has to kind of go over the middle for you than maybe a tight end where you can get a guy like Eli Stowers potentially on day 2 if you do want to draft that position.
You?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. 100% no.
Where would you feel safe selecting somebody like that?
In
Range? 20s?
Yeah.
18 to 25.
Maybe post 15, maybe.
18 to 25 good?
Better
if
be
you got
good.
assets to
You
move
better
back
be real
there.
good. If you got assets,
You know what I mean?
if you, it kind of depends on what you get on the back end of that trade. But like, I think there's a lot better options. 18 to 25, move back. Better be good, and not just good. Better be special.
Yeah. I think you have so many needs right now, and it's not that he's not a great player. I just don't know that really elevates you to some of the other places that you could get. When you're heavy and talented at places where you need help, you can be creative and you can move back and you can still get, I think, a lot of the things that you want. I think you can move back to 14, just picking a number, and get it a playmaker at 14, get an asset that's going to be able to give you an edge rusher with the next pick, and then let's say you still have 42. If you get, let's go 14, the Cowboys have 2 first-round picks. What are they, 12? I think they're at 12. Let's say they want to move up to 8. All right, you give me both those first-round picks, we'll move up.
They're missing a defensive star.
We'll give you our 42. All right, we'll give you 8 and 42. You give me those 2 first-round picks. And I'm picking, if I'm the Saints, I'm picking at 12 and in the 20s. That's something like I can get 2 day one starters with that. Now, 42, you kind of expect a day one starter as well, but I like, 26 a lot better than I like 42. So you have the ability, the Cowboys have the ability, and look, as I said, I caught up with Stephen Jones for like 30 minutes. Their defense, like he didn't even try to hide it. He's like, no, we're defense in this draft. He's like, we're really good on offense. We're pretty poor on defense. So you have options out there.
Yeah, this all sounds really great.
Yeah.
And you were bad and you have an asset, use it to the best of your ability and use it to something that makes sense quickly. You have this window of opportunity right now. Your cap is finally going to be on the right side of history. You have a young quarterback that's your franchise quarterback playing under a rookie contract. Don't screw this up. And Mickey Loomis, you're on a hot streak. You got the award for the best draft class.
Yeah.
In 2025.
True.
Let's make it 2. Just do something. Like, this is the time. This is, if there was ever a window, this is the window of opportunity for you to solidify a lot of those positions. People always talk about it. You want to hit a quarterback in the draft because why? You don't have to pay him a lot. You don't have to pay him starting quarterback money. You got an asset in the top 10. If you play your cards right and you find some eligible and suitable partners for trades and different assets, and you can with the 8, especially if the first 7 picks go the right way. Yeah, you can make a really strong impact, and not only make an immediate impact, but to last a long time, last for a handful of years. So here's hoping.
I think Saints can be very creative in this draft. I think they are going to hold a lot of leverage at number 8. I think number 8 is like a really good sweet spot because teams are going to be willing to give up what it takes to get 8. Maybe they wouldn't at 2, maybe they wouldn't at 3, but at 8 with the defensive prospects in this draft, and I can only speak to the coaches I talked to, but Dan Quinn said defense. Stephen Jones, assistant GM, co-owner of the team with his father, he said defense.
Not a lot of teams have the assets to trade up to the top 3, 4 picks, but a lot
Cowboys
of teams
having 2 first-round picks because they gave up Micah Parsons.
A lot of teams have the assets to trade for a number 8.
It's not what they typically do, but they have an opportunity if they don't
do it.
Like the guy that let's say Sonny Styles goes 7 to Washington. Say that was the guy they were eyeing. They don't feel great about the receiver class where it's at right now. The Saints should certainly upgrade their draft by moving back. All right, we will take a break. Long for a break. More OTB when we come back on the other side here live from the Raising Cane's studio.
Off the bench.
All right, go to FABT.com. That is the website for First American Bank and Trust, a banking tradition since 1910. That's right. Well over 100 years they have been here in this local community. They have all the bells and whistles of all the national banks, right? I mean, all the online banking tools, all the things that you would see when it comes to working with a national bank. But the thing about national banks is they don't make decisions here. They make them in New York. They make them in Chicago. They make them in San Francisco. Not with First American Bank and Trust. Those decisions on your next steps moving forward are made right here in this local community, FABT.com.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what your banking needs are. If you're opening your first account, maybe you're opening an account for a child. Let them help you grow whatever you need. Whether it's you're growing your family, you need to buy a bigger house. Whether you're starting a business, you need to bring in inventory. You need some working capital. Whatever it is, make local decisions. First American Bank and Trust, FABT.com.
Baby's black balloon makes her fly. Almost fell into that hole in your life. You're not thinking about tomorrow.
All right, welcome back in OTB here on this Monday morning. Jake Flynn, Moose, and Tay-Tay, and also going to be joined now by our guy Will Hellmers, Louisiana Loaded. Of course, always good enough to have him. Part of the G team, comes on over with us, talks a little baseball, and he was going to referee our tight end dispute here. That's why he showed up.
That's why I'm actually here.
He actually came in saying, yeah, Flynn's obviously right.
I didn't hear that part. I definitely did not hear that part. But Will, always a pleasure, man. Hope you're doing well.
Man, doing well. Thank you guys for having me.
Another 3-0 weekend for the LSU Fighting Tigers.
We'll take it.
Yeah, and
We'll take it.
And I know they had the midweek loss. That's like those aren't.
They don't matter.
Yeah, those aren't things that are going to make you like.
It's not make or break a season kind of thing.
Right. Now I do love how Jay wants to win every game.
No,
I do love that approach.
That's awesome.
But
And
McNeese was better on that night, and so you're able to cut that and win 3 straight games. You got another game tonight against Northeastern, but a lot of people pointing to maybe some of the offensive struggles, and maybe we can get there a little bit later on. It's just one weekend. They were hitting the ball well before that, but the pitching staff did not disappoint.
yeah, that's
they've been
that's
on
more
fire.
what I was
Yeah.
excited about rather than kind of
Right.
mad about.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about you get 3 starters that are looking awesome on the weekend. Even if, whatever, Dartmouth, Northeastern, who cares?
Yeah.
These guys are getting better every week, it seems like. And so when you take that into account, if you can have the guys that, you're giving up 3 runs in 3 games,
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Right.
Even if it's against Dartmouth. Getting into SEC play, the guys are still going to be over the plate with their stuff, and all 3 guys have great stuff. And so it's going to play in the SEC, like it or not. And so if they can continue to get better from the mound standpoint, they're going to be hard to stop because the offense is going to come.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how Jay rolls.
Right.
These guys are still getting their at-bats in. They're still, working towards getting better at the plate. And you still got a lot of guys who are new to LSU in the lineup.
Yeah.
New to Alex Box, and they're getting accustomed to what it feels like there.
Yeah.
And so you take some of that into account and getting that into their head, their mental side, their, being comfortable at the box. It's only going to get better from here. I'm not worried about the offense at all.
Yeah.
From a hitting standpoint, so let's go back last Tuesday, the McNeese loss. We mentioned it last week a little bit, and it looked like watching them take their bats, like they were trying to hit Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of subconscious at play in a lot of these things. And you said you got a lot of new guys.
Right.
First time when they signed with LSU, probably the first time they've ever been to Louisiana.
Yeah.
They don't know where McNeese is, right? They just know they're the smaller school in the state that
Cowboys
they're in,
doing,
right? They have
man.
no clue.
Right.
So you put on the uniform, you're an Alex Box, you reigning national champion. Like subconsciously, you're like, is whether you're trying to or not, and it happens in football too. That's why we hated the smaller school games. It's like you're like, okay, we're better than them. I'm going to get some stats here. I'm going to make this ball go for a ride, whether they're actually trying to or not in their brain. Is that a real thing in these midweek games? Are you trying to do something a little out of character that you wouldn't do necessarily in an SEC series?
I don't want to say you're physically trying to, but it's definitely in your subconscious mind.
Right.
It's there. Even from Louisiana, I know, Nichols, McNeese, Tulane, UNO.
Right.
These are all 4 of those schools we lost to when I was at LSU.
Yeah.
It just happens. And whether you're trying to do something or not, you are.
Right.
And you see it, guys take a little bigger swings. They kind of, maybe gear up a little bit more on the mound, and it just causes, you'll see it. You hit guys on the mound, you walk a bunch of guys.
A lot of them.
It just, not a few, a lot. Yeah, it was ugly from the mound. They hit 4 and walked 6.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And a part of that's just, you're trying to do too much, and trying to be too much when you don't need to be.
In the words of Kunu, do less.
Less is more.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm with you.
P-P-O-P.
Yeah. Yes. Well, somebody that's doing much more, William Schmidt on Sundays. And we were talking earlier, and you'd be so much more qualified to talk about this as a pitcher than we would. But, he has all this pressure of he's going to be a first-round pick. He decides to stay in school, and you have that option now with NIL, which is awesome. You get baseball players like that in college baseball. And, last year you see flashes without question, but it wasn't consistent. Yeah, had some issues staying in the zone, but he really feels like he's starting to come together. And, like, the best thing about it is no walks, right? No free passes. He's going down there. He's got a bulldog mentality now, and you can start to see, like, with every pitch, it's like more and more confidence.
Right, and that's awesome. Like, that's all you can ask for. We're going from that freshman year to that sophomore year. And he actually mentioned this in his, post-game press conference yesterday. Is like he learned a lot from guys that were here, like guys like Anderson and Ianson, who are first, second, third round picks or whatever, and other guys on that pitching staff last year. He learned how to be a good pitcher,
right?
And he said he knows how to be a good pitcher at LSU. It just took some time for him to get there, and he's a young kid. Yeah. Like he's probably not even 20 years old.
Yeah,
and so people put a lot of pressure on him, but to see him overcome, his struggles from last year and be the pitcher that everybody knows that he can be, especially around Baton Rouge and in the state of Louisiana, is awesome. Like, he's been great.
It is so wild for me to see, and it happens all the time. Like, you see a guy like Cade Anderson's a great example. Like from like the year where you're just like a baby deer, you're trying to figure yourself out, and everybody's like, I don't know, can this guy pitch? And then like you figure it out because you're a year older, you know what it looks like, the process, and then you go out there and become one of the best pitchers in the country.
Yeah, and they had a similar story. Like Cade Anderson his freshman year was my senior year. We're in the SEC tournament, and he's walking guys and hitting guys, and I'm like, man, who is this dude? Like, why? Like, he's supposed to be so good, blah, 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 blah. And then he comes out the next year and is Cade Anderson that everybody remembers.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And I think William Schmidt's the same kind of thing. Is like, he's going to be that guy. And he's got another year at LSU.
Right.
So there's the sky's the limit for him.
And even more impressive, we talked about how short Dartmouth's lineup is.
Yeah.
Small players, small strike zones.
Small strike zones.
I mean, how accurate are we? Good
Instead
Lord.
of the 3 boxes, they got the 2.
They got the 2.
And the track man.
I mean, what are we doing? That's
such a turd.
That's seriously, like, talk about. So, of course, this past weekend was fantastic from the pitching standpoint, but let's take the whole season into review here. Like, how do you feel about the rotation, the weekend rotation now, and as we get into now a little bit of March play?
I mean, I love it. LSU hasn't had 3 guys in a while. Since really my freshman year, they haven't had like 3 weekend starters. It was, Landon Marceau, Jaden Hill, and AJ Labus.
Yeah.
My freshman year. And after that, we kind of rolled with 2, the Friday and Saturday. And so I like how they have 3 starters and 3 guys that can go deep into games. You can save some arms, and then you can also use a lot more guys.
Yeah.
And you can put them in smaller situations. I think you saw it yesterday. Like, you get guys that are just coming in for 1 out. If they don't get him out, he's out. And we're throwing out the next guy and going to match guys up, lefty, just how your stuff plays against, different hitters. And as you get into the SEC, which is, obviously what really matters is how you go in the SEC, you're going to match guys up better from the mound and based on what a hitter's doing on the other team. And the amount of time that they spend scouting and looking into analytics and blah, 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 a bunch of stuff that nobody wants to hear is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so if they can continue to, stretch guys out into games, 3 starters, deep into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then just match guys up, they're going to have a real great chance to keep guys not scoring runs.
You good to stick around for like a 2-minute segment on the other side?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be back. More OTB live from the Raising Cane studio.
Off the bench.
All right, go Tommy's.
Oh, yo, Tommy.
GEAUX, Tommy's with a Y.com. Tommy's windows, doors, and guess what? Also,
the siding.
That would be siding. When you go to the website, remember, you can check out a gallery of work right there on the homepage. You can check out testimonials of past clients. You can see the banners. They stack awards there at Tommy's. And you're going to get great customer service as well. So go to the website today, see what they can do for you, see what they've done for so many in the Baton Rouge area. That is GEAUX, Tommy's with a Y.com.
That's right, 225-250-8808. GoTommys.com. You will clearly see the difference. If you have a project happening, if you are kind of designing maybe an extension to your house, maybe it's a brand new house, maybe you just need some replacement. Well, anything that Tommy's touches, guess what? Lifetime warranty. So that means it's good for an entire what?
Lifetime.
Lifetime. A lifetime. Absolutely. So there you go. You're really smart. Nice work. GoTommys.com.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
All right, welcome back in. It is OTB. We do have Will Hellmers here with us in studio. So certainly want to find out what's going on at Louisiana Loaded this week. I'm sure like a lot of baseball talk, I would assume, but what y'all got going on?
A lot of baseball talk. We also started doing a new podcast. If anybody hasn't seen that, Jordy Collada and I doing it Thursdays. So please go check that out. We'll drop another one this Thursday with a pretty cool guest, so go check that out. Other than that, working with Gordon to get some baseball athletes doing some stuff. So we got 11 guys this year doing NIL stuff on the baseball side. So we signed a lot of guys and hopefully do some partnership with Louisiana Loaded and get Gordon to take some cool trips and take these guys and do some fun Louisiana stuff, maybe a fishing trip, a little nutria hunting, who knows.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, if you need a couple of old football players to come and do home
Come
run
on.
derby at the box, just let me know.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Feel free.
I'm an idea guy. You know?
Love it.
Real quick, you got about 30 seconds left. LSU's got a game tonight.
Yeah.
You know, another opponent you've already faced, Northeastern there, but another opportunity to go out there and try to fix some of these offensive things you've gone on the weekend. Had another day to try to get ready and go.
I think it's a big day for them. We're going to see who they start. I'll be
Yeah.
interested to see who they throw on the mound first. They may just mix it up quick, but other than that, just another chance to get the bats rolling and get back in the box.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Will, we appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate it, guys.
Catch up again with you next week. All right, we will take a break. We've got weekend winners when we come back here on OTB.
Off the Bench.
All right, go to K2ZBlinds.com, KTOZBlinds.com. That is the website for K2Z Windows. And when you go out there, right, when you go to that website, when you check it out, just know that they can do so many different things for you. It's in the interior of your home, but it's also the exterior, right, the outdoor portion of your home. And sometimes it's both. Like that's what it has been for me. I put the outdoor shade on my home, and we were excited because it was going to, shade this outdoor patio area. We had no idea it's actually going to shade the living room as well, save on some energy bills, take the glare off the TV. Just one of the many things that Brandon Barton and the team are going to make sure they get done every single time. Again, KTOZBlinds.com.
Right, K2Z interiors and outdoor living. Talk about those roll-up shades that also like inside that outdoor area when those shades are down, about 20 degrees cooler than it is in those summer months. So save on everything, man. Turn that outdoor living into an extension of your home. Go check out K2Z interiors and outdoor living, KTOZBlinds.com.